Now, taking it back to slavery for a second, a lot of people still refuse to believe that slavery was a sacrifice or a destiny swap between white people and black people specifically. But let me tell you the reason that black people were working that land. They had to spill blood and sweat for that sacrifice. They had to sacrifice of themselves. Yes, technically they were being forced, but not really. Yes and no. Okay? They were taken from where they were, and then they were brought to a new land. And the only way they could eat or have what they needed or shelter or whatever else, they had to depend on their captive or their captors. Okay? That's no different than someone picking me up, taking me and putting me in a house somewhere and then saying, oh, you don't have a job? You don't have nothing? Well, let me help you. And then in that help, I am forced to return whatever form of currency they need. That's called entrapment. You have entrapped a person, right? Because you know that if they refuse to do whatever it is you're asking, they no longer have a sense of survival for you anymore. They can't eat. They don't have a place to sleep. They don't have the things that they need if they say no to you. So now you are the higher power in the power struggle here, and this person has no choice but to do what you desire for them to do. So they go out and they work the land and they sweat on that land and they bleed on that land because they get whooped. They get their blood is being spilled when they're picking the cotton. That's a binding contract right there. Every time they spill a droplet of blood, they were signing a contract, right? Some women birthed their babies in the field. People died out there. Those were sacrifices. Those beatings and things that you hear about them slaves getting beat, I'm not telling you it didn't happen quite often, but it didn't happen as much as it is made to make it seem. They didn't have to beat them because they had already conditioned them. They had nowhere to run. They didn't know where they were. Okay? So they weren't beating these slaves all the time, but they were still spilling blood on that land. On our land, they were spilling blood, and it was a contractual agreement. And then after they said, let's free the slaves, they sent these niggas to war, and they spilled some more blood. And men are outside spilling blood every day when they shoot each other, and when they stab each other, they do a ride by and a gang by, and all this other nonsense. You're still doing it now. You're still sacrificing.